I told my mom she treated us differently, and I remember. My mom invited the whole family over for my younger brother's engagement party. She rented out a restaurant, hired a photographer, and even got a custom cake with his and his fiance's faces on it. When I got engaged 2 years ago, she forgot to call me back for 3 days. I wasn't planning to say anything. I'd gotten good at swallowing it, but then she stood up to give a toast and said something that made my blood run cold. Ryan has always been my miracle child. From the moment he was born, I knew he was special. She looked at him with tears in her eyes. The whole room was smiling. My wife squeezed my hand under the table because she knew what I was thinking. After the toast, my aunt came over and whispered that it was such a beautiful speech. I nodded and excused myself to the bathroom. I was washing my hands when my mom walked in behind me. She crossed her arms and asked why I looked miserable at my brother's party. I told her I wasn't miserable. She said I had the same face I made as a kid when I didn't get my way. Something snapped. I turned around and told her she treated us differently. She laughed like I'd said something ridiculous. That's absurd. I love you both the same. Then I started talking. I told her I remember being 8 years old and getting straight A's on my report card. She glanced at it and said that's nice. 2 years later, Ryan got straight A's and she took him to Chuck E. Cheese and bought him a new bike. Her face changed slightly. That's different. Ryan struggled more. I kept going. I told her I remember being 12 and asking for guitar lessons. She said we couldn't afford it. 6 months later, Ryan asked for drum lessons and she signed him up the same week. She started to interrupt, but I didn't let her. I told her I remember being 16 and working at the grocery store to save up for a car. I bought a used Honda with my own money. She never said a word about it. When Ryan turned 16, she surprised him with a brand new Mustang in the driveway, balloons and everything. Her jaw tightened. Your father helped with that. I told her I remember being 18 and getting accepted to college. She asked how I was going to pay for it. When Ryan got accepted, she cried and told everyone at church. She helped him fill out financial aid forms. She drove him to orientation. I was shaking now, but I couldn't stop. I told her I remember my wedding. She showed up late, complained about the food, and left before the cake was cut. At Ryan's engagement party, she rented out an entire restaurant. She was crying now. That's not fair. I was going through a lot during your wedding. I asked her what she was going through. Silence. I told her I remember calling her when my son was born. She said congratulations and asked if she could call me back because Ryan was having a hard day. She didn't call back for 2 weeks. When Ryan's wife announced her pregnancy last month, my mom threw a gender reveal party. My mom wiped her eyes and said I was being dramatic, that I was twisting memories to make myself the victim. I pulled out my phone. I told her I had screenshots. Birthday posts she made for Ryan every single year. Mine, silence. Not a single one since I was 14. I showed her the family group chat where she shared Ryan's accomplishments constantly. My promotion last year, never mentioned. I showed her the photo albums I found at her house last Christmas. 3 albums full of Ryan's pictures. I found exactly 4 photos of myself, and 2 of them I was in the background of Ryan's birthday parties. She grabbed the counter for support. Why are you doing this? She asked. Why now? I told her because Ryan's getting married and I'm not doing this anymore. I'm not pretending. I'm not smiling through another party where she acts like I don't exist. She started crying harder and said she didn't realize that she never meant for me to feel that way. I asked her why Ryan was her miracle child. She went completely silent. I already knew the answer. I found the letter in her closet when I was 15, the one she wrote to her sister after Ryan was born. I wasn't supposed to happen. She got pregnant with me by accident right after she married my dad. She wasn't ready. She resented it. But Ryan was planned. Ryan was wanted. I looked at her and said I've spent 32 years trying to earn something Ryan got just for being born. She reached for my arm, but I stepped back. I told her I loved her, but I was done pretending I didn't notice. I walked out of that bathroom, grabbed my wife, and we left the party without saying goodbye. My brother texted me the next morning asking what happened. I told him the truth. He said he had no idea, that he was sorry. I told him it wasn't his fault. My mom hasn't called me since. But for the first time in my life, I'm not waiting by the phone.